Hello and welcome to the podcast on lead-acid batteries by Ramesh Natarajan. With industry experience of over 42 years, Ramesh helps battery and battery-related industries with technical inputs and provides solutions to typical problems faced by manufacturers, service personnel, as well as users of batteries and related equipments. Do visit www.rameshnatarajan.in to stay connected. Enjoy the session.
Hello and welcome to this episode on lithium-ion battery room recommendations. The popularity of lithium-ion batteries has resulted in the spawning of many dealers, traders and assemblers of cells and modules. This is a good development, but many entrepreneurs are unaware of the risks associated with lithium-ion batteries. Hence, I considered doing this podcast episode focusing on the facilities to be incorporated in the battery rooms, keeping safety in mind. I shall touch upon the main aspects to be considered, and I do hope it is as comprehensive as possible. Before I discuss the battery room requirements and list the safety recommendations, I would like to enlighten the listeners on certain aspects. I want to talk about the main reasons for a battery catching fire. A lithium-ion battery catches fire mainly due to thermal runaway. This happens when the battery gets heated by an overcharge or deep discharge. When a single or a few battery cells get heated up, they transmit this heat to the adjoining cells, spreading the problem further. Another cause of fire is shorting, which can happen especially when the battery falls or gets punctured. A wet battery leading to a short circuit is also a possible cause of fire. Manufacturing defects evident when the module or pack is puffed up are also a cause of concern. Now let me enlighten my listeners on the hazards generated by lithium-ion fires. Exposure to the smoke caused by the fire leads to damage to the lungs and affects the cornea of the eyes. I have seen many videos where the onlookers standing and watching the fires are exposed to this smoke. Firefighters entering the shop or establishments to douse the fires enter such premises without eye protection. This is a cause of concern. Now that I have talked briefly about the reasons for the fire and the hazards due to smoke resulting from the fire, let me come to the topic of battery room design. The battery manufacturing facility must be monitored 24/7 with CCTV cameras. The DVR and other associated accessories, including wiring, must be from outside the room as per the requirements, so that they are not damaged in the event of a fire. All cameras must be strategically placed and suitably protected from damage due to heat and fire. All light fittings and electrical appliances must be fire retardant with flame-proof plugs and switch sockets used to the extent possible. Heat resistant and fire protecting CPVC pipe fittings may enclose and protect the wiring cables even if flame retardant wires are used for wiring. Fire and smoke alarms must be fitted at appropriate locations so that early warning is available in the case of a mishap. This is necessary to minimize damage and save lives. If practical, no R&D or production activities must be conducted near battery stores. It is better to keep R&D activities in remote locations, since any unusual experiment carried out in the laboratory can have dangerous consequences. Repairs and service related activities may also be done in a remote quarantined area. The kitchen or pantry must also be in a separate and isolated area away from all lithium-ion batteries. Fires caused by lithium-ion batteries can start due to extreme heat, other fires nearby, or even sparks. Hence, fire or spark activity should not occur in and around battery stores. Welding, smoking, spark producing activities and heat producing activities like grinding are prohibited. Fires caused by lithium-ion batteries can be put out using a special type of fire extinguisher, namely AVD, which means aqueous vermiculite dispersant type. Hence, these must be procured and maintained in good condition to be easily accessible. Water is not recommended as a fire extinguishing option since its conductivity can short cells and lead to reignition. However, water can effectively cool and put out fires of other flammable materials around the battery. Water can also cool the battery fire with sufficient pressure and a substantial volume. Therefore, sprinklers must be installed to dispense water. Wood, corrugated boxes, and other packaging materials may be stored separately so that they do not add to the problem in case of a battery fire. Considering that smoke can also cause problems to the lungs and eyes, it is suggested that the fumes be exhausted by having a chimney with an exhaust. This shall enable firefighters to have better access to the source of fire as and when the need arises. A round-the-clock vigil with security and safety personnel periodically monitoring the battery rooms is recommended. This will help to take necessary action, including alerting the employees sufficiently in advance to prevent a catastrophic situation. The battery room must have sufficient emergency exits with clear and unobstructed pathways. These exits must be marked with adequate signs showing the nearest exit out of the building. All personnel working in the battery factory must be sufficiently trained to know the safety protocols and emergency procedures. Safety drills must be conducted periodically, and the safety in charge must ensure that safety signs are displayed prominently and safety precautions are adhered to by all. Last but not the least, insurance for the premises, materials, and personnel is a must despite all safety precautions, and this must not be ignored or delayed. Please review the insurance policy details and check for exclusions if any. You may be eligible for specific discounts or concessions if you have installed safety alarms, CCTV, round-the-clock surveillance mechanism, sprinklers, etc. Enquire about this, discuss it with the insurance company, and ensure you are well covered. I do hope that this episode of my podcast was helpful to the listeners. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Please do visit www.rameshnatrajan.in. Keep yourself updated about our new releases by hitting the subscribe button.